Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel, another video on black pines. It's autumn again in Melbourne and we are looking at all the black pines and what to do. Mainly it's bud selection and needle plucking at this time of year for trees in refinement. Now this black pine's featured on my channel before. It's a cascading, very long cascading black pine. It's actually put on quite a bit of growth this year. It's got a lot of buds. Apologies for the stand, it's very hard to try and video this tree because the cascade's so long. I want to try and do some work on the tree today. Not only bud select and needle pluck it, but also rewire and restyle and remove some of these branches. Actually, I need to take off a couple and I'll show you why. I have to work out in here at the top here, where this main branch here, I've got 3 in one spot. So as I've told you before, you can really only do 2, have 2 only. In a way, this is actually 4 with the trunk, so it's really problematic. So something needs to happen here. I might just cut one of these off. I'm not sure which one. If I cut both, then I have no apex, or I'll have to try and figure out how to bring one of these up. Maybe that's an opportunity to create the apex ideally, because really now there's actually 4 in that one spot. Hopefully you guys can see that. You got the trunk, you got this main branch, and you got 2 on the side. So I could have to do something drastic and take off both. Maybe take off this one. I don't think so. I think I like this cascading branch and needs to stay most likely. But do I wire one of these ones right up and create a new apex? Possibly, and that might be the way to go, and eliminate these 2 branches that are making a bar as well. And there's 4 now in one spot. So that's some of the things I will be doing, considering today, what I'm going to do there, how I'm going to restyle this tree. So a lot of nice branching lower down. I might want to bring this tighter, like make this cascade. It's very long. I might try and bring it up more and get it tighter in, push it back in more, to try and bring it back in. It's a bit too long at the moment, and there's no branching. I don't know if you can see with my hand here, there's no branching here at all on this side, so I want to really try and bring that back in a lot. Yeah, so some of the little things we need to do there. First things first is I'll do the bud selecting and needle plucking to bring things back into even. And what I mean by bud selecting is that in summer I chopped all the candles off, every single one on this tree, and where I cut those candles I've got multiple new buds growing. So now you don't want more than 2 buds in the one spot after the cut. So I've cut it, I only want 2 buds to come out from that spot. But sometimes I've got 4, 3, a number of them, more than 2. So I want to go back to 2. So I'm going to pick out the 2 that I want to keep, and that's what I'll do. You would have a look at my last few videos. I've done more close-ups of how I do the bud selecting and needle plucking. Needle plucking is all about just trying to balance out, have the same amount of needles on all the different areas. That's really it. But most important thing is bud selecting. Make sure you select the back to 2 buds. Very important. So I'm going to go through this tree and do that, and then I'll kind of come back and see how we're going to restyle this tree. Okay, be back soon. Okay, so I've cleaned up as much as I can, and wasn't a huge amount to do. Again, maybe the summer wasn't as hot as I mentioned this in another video. Our summer wasn't that hot this year, and I found when it's been really hot and I get so many buds to choose from and pick through, whereas this summer's been not that hot, and I'm finding there's not as many buds. There's still at least 2 to 3 usually, but there's no more than 3, which is very unusual sometimes. So maybe next year I will, as I said in other videos, I'll ramp up my feeding in early spring, get them really building up those candles, and when I do the big cut, I won't fertilize after I do the candle pruning in summer, but hopefully all that food that I gave it in early spring would really push along the growth for autumn. So we'll see how we go next year to do that. But in the meantime, what I was trying to do is I mentioned there about these 4 branches, which includes the trunk. So I was just playing around with it, and I felt I had to play with this branch, and it's actually very, very flexible. So I'm going to actually try and wire all this up maybe twirl it around, create a new apex somehow, some way, and create a new apex in here, possibly. Remove these two, bend this guy down into somewhere around here, pull this back up. So I'm going to try and compact this whole tree more into a smaller tree around in here, eliminating these two. Anyway, I was saying that I was just wanting to contort and really bring in this part of the tree, or trying to bring it as closer together as I can. And that's the plan for today and what I'm planning to do. So I'm going to get rid of these two pretty much straight away, and I'm going to show you that I'm not scared to take off branches, and I'll just leave a little stub. So I'm going to leave a little stub. I already think that's a huge improvement. Maybe create a couple of little gins up there, but nothing major. There's a bit of shari along the trunk here as well, which is nice, which probably will lend nicely into having a couple of gins in here. Just a nice few small ones, nothing too big. And now I'm going to try and wire up the tree. I'm going to pretty much wire the whole tree, and then I'll bend it all. So that's the plan. That's what I usually like to do. So I'm going to go away and wire the whole tree, and then I'll come back and we'll try and bend this all into place together, just to show you how I go about it, and maybe it's of interest to you. So we can skip to the end and see the result. Hopefully it's good. Okay guys, so yeah, that's at least the big cut done. I think it's already improved the tree immensely, and yeah, let's create maybe a little apex in here and try and get the tree more contorted or tighter together. Alright, so I'll be back and I'll show you what it looks like when it's fully wired. Alright, so where I'm at now is I've fully wired the tree, and it's the next day. Now my intention is I've fully wired this branch, and my intention is to try and twist it and create some sort of apex in here, and then we'll work on the rest of the tree and bring it in, and how we need to do it. So I'm going to try and video this and see how we go. We're trying to twist this up. My intention is this branch, it's naturally curling this way, so I've wired it that way as well, so I can hopefully continue to move it around, and I want to try and see if I can create some sort of apex. So I've got to also just be careful of how it's sitting in the pot too. Okay. So it's moving around quite a bit, so you can see how much I've moved it already around. No raffia, no nothing on this. I've kept the coils quite closely together when I've wired, so that helps protect the branch and the trunk, so from splitting. So I want to do this slowly. So I got it up to about here. Now maybe this branch I want it to sit in here somewhere, and I want to try and get this around in here. Maybe that's what I'm trying to plan right now. So we'll see how that goes. Always listening, being very careful. It's not going to move that way properly, so we'll see. Okay, we're getting there. Let's try and move this around. So I've got an idea. So I want to try and get this heavy one down into here, and maybe leave this little one as the apex. So I want to try and get this one easy to move around to be the apex. I'm just worried about trying to get this one down, so I'm just going to do it very slowly. Checking all the time that I'm not breaking anything, not splitting anything. coming along quite well. The only thing was this branch, I didn't wire it in the right direction, so I might have to reapply that wire. So I've got the wire coming underneath when I should have had it on top, so I can pull it down. Because it's got it underneath, it's not getting the right angle I'm getting, but it's just I didn't realise how we were going to do it until now. But it's coming along quite well. Don't want to count my chickens just yet, as they say. I think that's about as all I can get at the moment. Yeah, I'm not happy with this. I'm going to rewire just this side, which I'll do it now. It's just because it's anchoring this branch, I need to take this off. So sometimes I have to do this. And it's not too bad as long as you keep it strong and supported. Last thing I want to do is replay the whole thing. Not good. There we go. Just give me a second, let me do this and I'll come back. Alright, so I managed to rewire this one and I'm much happier. So you can see now, hopefully you can see if it's the right angle. I've got this branch all the way around back to here. This one's coming on this side and this one I'm just going to try and tweak to create some sort of apex. Maybe you've got to go this way. Just to create something new and interesting. Because I want these little guys to be the new maybe top. This can be another apex. So I have to hopefully they'll grow upwards, and we'll maybe create the one up, and that will be the side. And then we've got some sort of little apex in here now. So, but that branch, remember where it was down here somewhere. Then I would twist it back on itself, get it right around. Got a nice branch here to form that side. Got this branch here to form this side. Maybe we can tweak it a little bit more, but I think to make it flatter, but that's pretty good for now. I think it'll be just a gradual adjusting as we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Just for now, for the start, there's a nice little apex in here. Let's get this branch out of the way. Where's he going to go? Let me just have a look. Yeah, I'd like this guy to go in more. Let me just have a look. It's a little bit tricky. You're not looking at what you're doing. Yeah, I'll probably have to get this a bit more round in here. A bit more round in here, I think. That's the front. Something like that. Something like that, if that's the front. Okay, where are you going to sit? You're going to just sit right here. I think it should just be another side branch in here. Just if you think about it, like this is like the lowest branch of this area. I think that would be suited in there. There's a lot of filling out this tree has to do still. Let's tweak this. I think this is a nice branch just to sit out to the side here. Let's have a look. That there, just a nice bit in there. Now we get to the base. Now I'm hoping I've got the camera set up. I'll just have to adjust the camera to make sure we look at this area and just focus on this area, because I want to make a change to what I'm doing in here. Plus we want to shrink that, so I want to show you how we can do that as well. I'm going to try a very different camera angle to see if we can get this filmed properly. Let's see how we do. So I want to try and see how there's a stub in here. I can be able to hook things onto that. I want to try and bring this right up closer to here as much as I can. So I want to bring the whole tree in more. So I've got this nice, so I've got the top apex, but now I want to try and bring, so I'm going to use a guy wire. You can see that. Use a guy wire to pull that in and tie it around there. And that's the plan I'm going to do now. I'm going to try and do that. So I'm going to try and position myself in a good angle so you can see that. It's very hard to do it with the camera there. So we brought it up quite a bit already, but I want to get it closer. Almost 90 degrees there, but I won't do it too straight, but hopefully that can, you see the difference in there from that angle. Alright, so that's really good, that's a nice bend, but now we've got to do something about all this, and I've hopefully put heavy enough wire to be able to bend all this, and I want to bend it back up a more. So what I found is there's this branch here. Let me just check I can see. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, now there's a branch. This is nice, but there's a branch in here that I think it's going to be. It's actually there's three branches coming out of the one point in here, so I was going to eliminate that branch to create some space. So I'm going to get rid of him. Now I've got more space, which is good. So now I was hoping, see if I can do some adjustments. Should have a heavy enough wire to really play around with this. Oops. How much is that cracked? No, it's only a little bit. It's all good. Sounds sometimes worse than it is. That's alright. All works. Now I'm going to bring the camera back to normal so we can see a bit more how this tree looks, but yeah, we just got to adjust some of this just to get it looking nice as well, and let's see how it goes. So tried to put the tree back in an angle where I think it will look like in the future, so you can now hopefully see a nice kind of apex in here with a nice branch just down here. That in itself looks quite nice, quite really pretty. And I don't mind just this area in here. So I had to tie the tree in so it wouldn't move around. Then I've tried to work on this, which looks nice. I've got a little branch just in the back here to this side. Then I've got the two branches at the base making a nice end cascading branch. But now we're going to deal with this branch, and I just want to show you what I'm thinking of doing. And I want to create another apex in here. So that's what I've done with this. This is what I'm going to do with this branch. I haven't moved it. It's off to this side. It doesn't kind of make sense, but if I make another apex in here, I'm going to have 1 and 2. So let's see if we can get this go around. I've got a heavy enough gauge on there to get him at least around. Probably maybe can guide wire up into there as well, but I'm going to see if I can just do it with the wire. Possibly. Nice and slow. I think I'll move quite well. Just keeping an eye on it. It's amazing sometimes how much pines can actually bend. I think they're very flexible at this age anyway. These two. I might have to guide wire it just to get it tighter in there, but it's starting to come along well. I just got to get it to a bit more, maybe about that much more closer to that trunk. So I'm going to put another guide wire in there, I think, rather than try and bend this. It's bending, but I think it needs it's kind of popping back. See, it's popping back too much. So it's not going to hold totally in that position. So I'm just going to put a guide wire into there, and I'll set that up and I'll come back and show you. Okay, so what I've tried to do is come down and show you a bit more of a straight line angle. Now, once that top of that tree really fills out, we'll hide all those really twisty bits, but it's setting it up for a much more interesting apex part, that tree, that side anyway. And then you probably can just see, without that back branch, you can see another nice little cascading bit that we've created just there with a little apex and then the lower cascading branch. Still very young, but I think this tree, if it fills out, will have a nice bit of a crown up there, and then I have a back branch in the back down there, and then it'll have this nice little secondary kind of apex with a branch in there as well. So forgive the wind, it's a bit windy today, but that's a really nice tree in there, and that will be a nice tree up there. So I think this is really starting to we've set this, I guess I've set the foundation for what could be a really good tree in the future. I just got to see how the tree responds to these big bends that I've put in, and how it starts to shoot back and really grow in the next season. It's got a nice tall slender trunk. It's got nice and twisty, and even the apex now is twisty as well to match it. The lower part's not as twisty, but I think it really blends well. You can see that nice little cascading part. It looks quite good too. That's a nice one on its own there too. You know, that could be a nice tree there. That could be a nice tree there. But combined, I think it'll be unique and be interesting. So I think that's about all I'm going to do on this tree today. I'm not going to do any more. I've done enough to it. Got two guide wires pulling it in different directions, so that's good. So yeah, interesting. Hopefully this tree turns out really well. Needs a few years more development, obviously. Really set those branches in place and continues to grow. Alright guys, I'm going to sign off and hope you guys enjoyed another video, and stay tuned for more.